Gentlemen, welcome to another Palaview Market Research video. I'm pumped to tell you guys all about DAOs. What is a DAO? What is a decentralized autonomous organization? Okay, there are a bunch of definitions online. I actually didn't like a lot of them, so I kind of came up with my own, but it's pretty much pretty close to what you'll read online, right? So what I've written here is a DAO, or a decentralized autonomous organization, is an internet sovereign organization that leverages smart contracts to reach consensus amongst its relevant token holders, or more specifically, token stakers, right? So these are organizations that are native to the internet that utilize blockchain token based systems to achieve governance, which is something we'll talk about later because governance is the biggest issue today with DAOs. So when you think about, it's important and helpful to compare what a DAO is to what a traditional organization is, right? Because there are pros to cons to each, right? And as you see, a DAO is a much different type of organization that is decentralized. There is no leadership, there is no kind of pyramid hierarchical structure. Okay. Versus with a traditional organization, obviously it's extremely hierarchical, which is a on purpose, right? You have to have leadership in order to govern a company and in order to allocate resources effectively. But the whole point of a DAO is that you can mobilize capital in a manner that is truly decentralized, distributed across a community of people for the whatever the goal, the mission of the organization is. So say I start a DAO and my DAO is all about donating money to, say, orphanages in New Zealand, right? And everyone who buys that token knows that that's what we're going to be doing, and that the goal is to organize capital to most effectively help kids in New Zealand who are dealing with not having parents, right? Not having support, not having access to opportunities, to education opportunities, jobs, whatever, right? So when we think about how this works practically speaking, right? Like on the governance side of things, because really it's very easy to start this, right? It's very easy to just whip up a DAO, whip up a token, right? But how and the how, why, all of those things behind a DAO is what makes it difficult, right? So really the process of governing and running a DAO looks a lot like this, right? It starts with a proposal, and the proposal can be submitted by anyone who is a token holder. The proposal defines how much blank will be provided to who in exchange for what, right? So if the DAO is started, right, and they need to build some kind of software or some exchange in order to take the DAO to the next level or to achieve the service that they want to offer, maybe they're going to hire some developers to build that out, right? And then from there, they're going to hold a vote, and then they're going to execute the development, and then they're going to deploy it, right? So this is just like like a more specific example of what a DAO might choose to do with its, with its resources after it's up and running. Okay. And so here's another kind of compare and contrast, right, between a typical company and a DAO. A company, like again, it follows that kind of traditional pyramid hierarchical structure, while a DAO is loose, grassroots, transparent. A lot of DAOs you can think of are built from the bottom up, right? So it's similar to that kind of, closed garden, public park kind of thing, right? Because if you have a company, like you're not just going to allow anyone who owns like stock in the company. Like, so say there's like Bank of America, right? Say I buy a bunch of Bank of America stock, right? Just because I own some Bank of America stock doesn't mean I can just start like, I can just start walking into their office and telling them what to do and all these types of things and like have my voice heard just because I own some shares, right? Versus with a DAO, that is the case. And technically speaking, I guess you could do that if you bought like over 2% of one of these companies, right? But that would cost tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So here's a bunch of examples of DAOs, right? So Colony is a DAO that I think is really cool that is still being built out. We did an early report on Colony. They released the Colony Avalanche Index, which is like one of the first index funds inside of, actually, I think all of DeFi, really. But it's basically an avalanche index fund for the largest, like the largest market cap opportunities or tokens in the space. MakerDAO is another thing that we've covered extensively. Olympus is something I've talked about a little bit. Uniswap Grants is also an interesting DAO. I would definitely explore that. But I just think these are, we're really in a very nascent period with DAOs. They don't really do much. I don't know if you guys remember when they tried to buy the Constitution DAO or whatever it was. That was an early version of a DAO that obviously was not, it was like almost successful, but not successful, right? And so again, the biggest issue with DAOs is this government structure, right? Governance on DAOs and how you reach consensus amongst token holders is still, we still don't know how to do it, and there will be like a universal standard that we all kind of live by eventually, but these are the things that you have to kind of create governance systems around. So you have to have the scope of the decisions, you have to incorporate all the relevant stakeholders, and how do you like measure the value of a stakeholder, right? Because like obviously if I only own one token, you're not as invested into the project as someone who owns 10,000 of those tokens, right? So yeah. And then if you want to learn and see kind of how this is currently functioning, go to this website, snapshot.org. It's definitely like the leading platform for DAO governance. So you can hop into these like community channels and see the things that they're voting on, right? And how they're currently writing those proposals. I really highly encourage you to go check that out. You can see these are some of the largest DAOs out there right now. Aave is a really good one because it's a very simple platform, right? It's a lending and borrowing platform, right? Banky is also like that, where you could basically deposit, say, a bunch of Bitcoin, right? And then you can take out a loan against the Bitcoin that you collateralize on the platform, right? And of course, there's some risk running a platform like that, right? So how you govern the risk, how you utilize the fees, where do you invest, like all those things are actually really, really important for a platform that has billions of dollars of value locked onto it. Okay. So yeah, that's today's video, guys. What is a DAO? It's very nascent. I hope to start to see a lot more innovation in DAOs soon. And yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend. We will pick this up. Bye.